Hello everyone, this is Godzilla of One, and I am back with another Angels with Scaly Wings live stream. And we will be getting probably one of Remy's endings today. I don't know which one. Part of me is guessing it'll be his bad ending, but we'll just have to wait and see. Let me message this all out. Also interesting to note is that the Netflix One Piece live-action series has come out, and from what I've seen of it and what I've heard, it's actually really good. Which is kind of shocking because it's a live-action adaptation of arguably one of the single most cartoonish anime ever. Thank you, XX. Let me just finish messaging this out. But yeah, that's actually really shocking, because I remember everyone was expecting it to be bad for, kind of understandable reasons, because, live-action adaptations of anime haven't necessarily been very good. Obviously, there are exceptions. I've heard the Bleach one is pretty good. But yeah, I'm genuinely kind of surprised that we're getting pretty much nothing but good. I'm hearing pretty much nothing but good things about it. And believe me, I have friends who will tear something apart if they think it's bad. Check something. I have seen Mihawk, like Mihawk's origin, his introduction, and I have seen that, and they did a phenomenal job. They got Mihawk perfectly, and that can be it's kind of difficult because Mihawk's entire shtick is that he is the world's greatest swordsman and just so bored with having nothing to challenge him. And that is a hard expression to convey without looking like the actor doesn't care. But they managed it. So anyway, D&D this week we had Dragonlance, and probably had one of the single most epic moments in D&D I have had so far. So like I said I think last week, a couple weeks ago, we ended on a cliffhanger where we were confronted with a adult black dragon, which we are not the right level for. We are not a good level to fight an adult black dragon. Which I think is CR, 14? I think it's a CR 14 monster, we are presently level 7. So, yeah. So we had to run away from it, and to run away from it, long story short, one of our party members is a Bard Artificer multi-class, and his Bard... his Bard basically has a class feature that's basically kind of the mini deck of mini things. But with the DM being able to just, negate any that pop out. Well, he pulls out what amounts to 500 GP worth of bottle caps, which doesn't sound like a lot, but that is a lot of bottle caps. That's several tons worth of aluminum. And just they erupted out into the dragon's face and knocked her down. Turns out we were surrounded by water. We were in a camp that was built in the middle of a lake. I just unlocked my 4th level spell and was able to give myself control water. So I just threw the lake at her, and several members of the party used ice-based powers to freeze the water and restrain her long enough for us to escape. There was no way we could beat her. But we did also get blasted by her acid breath, but we managed to survive that. Grave Clerics have Circle of Mortality, which means they get max healing on people at 0 HP. So I saved one party member, and then they were able to save another party member when they both went down. First time actually in a game that I've had a party member go down, which actually is kind of exhilarating. Anyway. See. I believe we're here, aren't we? Okay, okay, yeah, we just met with Remy, I believe. Okay, so one detail to... Okay, let's just, you know, go through Katsushiro, so we helped him in this timeline. But... we managed to run away and everyone survived. Yes, we want to skip ahead. Okay, let's do this in this timeline anyway. If this way we're on good terms with him. Okay, I'll do it. We know this. This way we're on good terms with Maverick in this timeline, even though we won't, you know, have to kill him. Okay, so... let's go with the ones that we did not go with before. Also, I'm pretty sure Lorem is now dead. Yes. Let's take the A... Did we take the A to the hatchery? I don't know if we've done that yet. We have not taken a bandage to the facility, though. I know we have not done that. Hope this is the right place. Oh, hello, Damian. Can I help you? Yeah, I'm dropping off the evidence on behalf of the police. There's a case, right? I already read the memo. Yeah, well, here you go. Thanks, I'll get right to it. Yeah, I can say that, so... let's see... You know, we're going with Remy here, so I'm wondering if there's any extra dialogue for meeting, for having... Oh wait, no, I did not want to go that far. I did not want to go that far. Okay, here we go. Okay. I think... Okay, so here's the detail we're not going to see in any playthrough, because if we've not seen it so far, we're not going to see it. During our meeting with Remy, he said that he doesn't know how much longer he can do it. He doesn't think he can. Here's the thing, and this is something I love about this game. This is a subtle detail about this game that when I found out about it, it just made me appreciate it all the more. If you mess that date up, or have messed up your dates in general with Remy, I believe if you've got him in the bag, like if you've really messed up with him and made him feel awful, when you go to take the PDAs back, he's actually, he hung himself. You find he's hung himself. You never know that. You never know that if you don't get that scene. You never know that's what happens. You have to not only have done those mess ups and then do that exact thing and visit him to see that happen. You never know. So that means your character effectively talked Remy out of taking his own life without ever knowing it. Just by being kind. And I genuinely like that. That is genuinely good writing to me. The fact that there's no indication that's what happened in the other timeline. That you were just kind to him. And you saved his life. I really, really like that. I really like that. Okay, so now that the facility has received the bandage, maybe we'll discover something new. I'll take care of the remaining tasks so you can have the rest of the day off. I'll be sure. Okay, so yeah. Supposed to be a vacation. But yeah, that's a detail with this game that I really appreciate. That you don't know. Okay. Yeah, there's nothing here new to see. Okay, so we've got Remy, we've got Bryce, but and Dean is still alive at this point. But let's go with, of course, Remy. He's the choice this time around. Oh, that must be him. Oh, yeah, now I remember this. I remember this now that I've seen it. Remy, what's that on your face? Don't you know what it is? Well, it looks like lipstick, but I didn't know that was a thing here. You're right, it is lipstick. It's not something that existed in this world before, though. How did you get something? I have one of your PDAs, remember? I studied a bit and came across the entry on lipstick. Based on the necessary ingredients, I realized I could make some myself, and so I did. That is cute. That is genuinely cute. Did you do this look pretty for me? I figured you'd miss these kind of things that are normal for you. I haven't really been normal back home for quite a while. Lipstick isn't common these days. Makes sense post-apocalypse. That's a luxury item. Didn't the entry specify this typically used by females? Now that you mentioned it, I did get that impression, but I found the sentiment a bit puzzling. Why would a product like this only be used by one gender? I guess social norms dictated that certain traits are one gender, thus highlighting them, and this would increase attractiveness. Oh, I think I get it now. It's all based on sexual dimorphism. The biological difference between sexes are much greater in your species than it is in ours. So I suppose the traits that you are looking for can be different. Yeah, that is actually that's actually something interesting that I like that the game points out, is that reptiles don't, well, that's the thing, reptiles do have sexual dimorphism, but it depends on the species. Like, in some species, the females are much larger than the males. In some, you can't tell. So, theoretically, if they're based off dinosaurs, there should be at least some of them that have pretty visual sexual dimorphism. But I guess when it comes to Remy's specific species, that's not the case. Which actually is true, because we see that we see his wife, his fiancée in Angels with Broken Hearts, and she looks roughly the same build. Like, she's different. She has you know, different scale color, but they're roughly... You can still tell she's female, but she's very close to what he looks like in terms of build and stuff. Obviously, you have different horns and different other visual traits, but those are individual things, not sexual dimorphism. Generally speaking, sexual dimorphism is much greater in mammals than it is in reptiles. It can vary widely by species. External indicators are pretty much always present, like mammaries, for example, and always present and often obvious reminder. That makes so much more sense now. It's kind of embarrassing. Should I get rid of it? Honestly, I think he kind of looks cute with it on. I'll leave it on. It's not like people here would know about its history. I suppose that's true. Besides, the thing about females wearing it isn't really a hard rule, and there's males who do it too. Anyone can wear it if they want to, really. Well, if you say so. Still, it's kind of uncomfortable, so I think I'd rather take it off. Uncomfortable? I suppose it's not really suited for our scales. Second. Yeah, just 1 second. Okay, here, that should do it. Shall we go then? Actually, it seems we're pretty early. They're probably still setting up. I see. Well, we could stay here in the meantime. Oh, for sure. I just realized I haven't actually been in here since I prepared the apartment for you. Have you read any of the books I got you? Oh, so you're the one that stocked the bookshelf? They're all library books. I wanted to provide you with a good sample of what we have to offer, so there should be something in there for anyone. Looks like you've read a few of books in the Therodon series. Really interesting. I just wasn't in the mood for anything more complex. Let's go with interesting because our characters seem to have liked them. Oh, really? I know they're not exactly highbrow, but they're entertaining, and what more do you want a book to be? I guess we all have our own tastes. Can I offer you food or drink? I've barely used any of the stuff in the kitchen. Why not? I didn't want to touch anything that didn't at least resemble something I know. After all, I have no idea how to prepare them right or even know if they're safe for me to eat. Maybe it wasn't such a good idea to get you all those perishable then. I wanted to provide you with a bit of everything, considering I had the apartment for someone I didn't really know much about. Oh, some of them were good. It's interesting to taste the subtle and sometimes not so subtle differences in similar fruits we have back home. Did you throw anything out? Not really. Why do you ask? You've been here for nearly 2 weeks, so even if some of them were safe to eat, they probably aren't anymore. Let me clean out your closet. We don't want to have any health hazards for you after all. Well, feel free. Remy is such a nice guy. He is very nice. Just look at this. The juicy-looking, vaguely spherical fruit whose bright red color was unlike any other fruit I've ever seen. It's very bright red. I don't think even our best apples could compare. Well, they're usually blue. Red means you're supposed to throw them away, as they've expired by then and the toxins might have already set in. Oh, well, I wasn't planning to eat it anyway. Well, this one is all moldy. I don't see any mold. Don't you see these spots? Sure, but if that's supposed to be mold, it looks very different from the mold we have back home. I see. Maybe it wasn't such a good idea to stock them on perishables. I didn't consider all the implications of doing something like this. Had you eaten the wrong thing, you could be in the hospital right now. Don't stress yourself about it. Honestly, someone would have to be pretty reckless to just go ahead and start munching on things they didn't know about. If anyone was smart enough to be sent here, they probably wouldn't take a risk like that. Well, I'm glad to hear it. Nevertheless, I better get rid of everything that's past its date. We don't really want the mold in the air either, if you say so. I have asthma, so mold is not a very good thing to have in my vicinity. Yeah, well, in general, having mold in your air is not a very good thing to have. One second. Okay. Once more, he dove into the closet. I heard rummaging around as he checked through the fruits and vegetables thoroughly. That should be everything. Thanks. I bet the wine didn't go bad, though. Do you want some? I'm not really a big fan of wine. How come? I just can't enjoy it as much as some others do, I suppose. I'm willing to try anything at least once, though. Anything? Well, at least as far as food and drinks are concerned. Well, I mean, it's cheap wine. We know that from Bryce's route, that it's cheap wine. But... well, if you want to, sure. What kind of wine is this, anyway? I'm not sure, I just grabbed it when I got all the other stuff. Don't tell me you just went for the cheapest one. Of course, not everyone knows that you don't just buy the cheapest stuff. You go for the second cheapest. Oh well. What kind of container should I get you anyway? We're having wine, so let's go for wine glasses. The stem actually makes it possible for me to grip it with my vestigial thumb, so there shouldn't be any problems. Alright. Here you go. What shall we drink to? You're gonna do a wonderful friendship, whatever. Alright, and an interesting afternoon and whatever it may bring. Took a sip from my wine glass. Remy really wasn't kidding about getting the second cheapest bottle because that's exactly what it tasted like. How do you like it? Must be an acquired taste, I think. How about you? It's okay. I mean, you can't really expect much from a cheap bottle of wine. I see. Just look at the time. I think we should start heading to the festival now. Sure, let's go. I like that they're consistent that it's cheap wine. Usually there's a crowd by now. Do you think they canceled it with Reza being out there? Thought it wasn't a good idea to have a public spectacle like this. Cancel the summer festival? Inconceivable. Doesn't really look like a festival is going on right now, though. I don't know what's going on. Hey, I think I know this guy. Let's go and ask him. Oh, hello, Zong. Hey, Dove. Well, how can I help you? We were just planning to go to the festival. It doesn't seem like there's much going on here yet. We came to the right place, but the festival's not starting for at least another hour. What? But the festival's always started at this time. Just missed the memo. They moved it by an hour. Something about the daylight and making the fireworks more visible as a result. Well, that's a shame. I'm kind of getting hungry, too. I can help you with that. What are you selling? Skewers, meat, meatballs, all kind of grilled things, really. Well, I could go for some meatballs. How about you? I don't actually particularly like meatballs. I'll go with grilled cheese. I like grilled cheese. I don't particularly like... I know a lot of people like meatballs. I don't particularly like them very much. I like spaghetti, but I don't like meatballs. I don't know. It's just something about the texture, I think. It might be the fact that I was born with a cleft palate and my mouth is pretty much a mass of scar tissue from the surgery. Complicated reasons for why that is the case, and certain foods' textures just irritate it. I think meatballs are one of those textures, just some weird mix of things with it. But yeah, will I just pack this up for you? I guess this makes us your first customer of the day. What do I owe you? For you two, it's free. That's very kind of you. Thank you. Have fun at the festival. Thanks. So, what do we do now? Should we go back? Well, we're already here and got the stuff, so let's just go sit down somewhere. Sure. We went off to the side as more dragons arrived and started setting up their various booths. How are the meatballs? They're actually pretty good. How's your stuff? It's great. I'm surprised, honestly. You never know with stuff that comes out of food carts. You're right. Maybe we got lucky. Or maybe it's because it's still fresh. And Zong, from what we've seen, Zong's a really nice guy. Like, from everything we've seen about Zong, he's a really nice guy. He just... Apparently, you should not let him cook with his fire breath. Or maybe... Who knows? What was that about fireworks, though? Is the big show coming up later? Oh no, the festival is just getting started and there are fireworks every day, but the big show is what everyone wants to see. That one is happening in a few days. It officially concludes the festivities. I see. A while later, the festival had kicked off and the crowds were already coming in. Dragons of all shapes and sizes and colors filled the pass, ready to see the festival had to offer. Booths lined both sides of the way. It reminded me of a carnival setup, with the booths being filled with shops, food stands, games, and much more. Seems the festival has already started. Let's go. You know what? How about we just stay here? I really don't like crowds. I've been to the festival, seen the festival so many times. I'd rather just stay here with you. I just wanted to show me around, but I suppose we can stay here if you prefer that. Actually, always the big fireworks show at the end of the festival, and that one's not going to happen today anyway. So why do you need to come here in the first place, then? Is something wrong? I just had to realize that as nice as it is right now, you'll have to leave this world eventually. I've been alone for such a long time now. I didn't even have a single friend. In my job, I always have to smile when serving the customers. How could I be surrounded by people all the time, yet feel so alone? All those people have their own lives, families, friends, and relationships, yet I had none of that. In a world where everyone else seemed happy, I was the odd one out who had to pretend in order to belong. How could that not have eaten away at me day after day? Yet one day I heard about the plans of the humans coming here. Like many others, I was excited at the prospect of our myths coming true. Then, the day Reza stepped through the portal amidst all the pomp and fanfare you can imagine, it's quite a sight to behold. It was quite the sight to behold, really. You wouldn't believe how much joy I felt in that moment. Amira, of course, took all the limelight as she could. First, there was a big speech in front of a huge crowd, session after she officially welcomed Reza, and then it was time for you to arrive, and it was decided that it wouldn't be a public event this time due to security concerns. I knew Amira wasn't going to be there if she wasn't able to make it all about herself. I begged her to let me do it, just to be able to get this close to a human at least once, to talk with them, to see what they were like, to experience them. She told me that if I did a few favors for her, I could be the one to greet you. Aww. I knew that she wasn't going to be there anyway, but if I didn't do what she wanted, she would just send some other lackey instead. So I did everything she asked for. She did keep her word, though, and in the end, I was the one who would introduce you to this little world of ours. It might not have seemed like much to you, but just the two of us and no one being here, it was something very special for me. It was not just some public spectacle like the summer festival or Reza's arrival, but for the first time in so long, I felt like that moment was about you and me and no one else. For someone in my position, it just made me very happy to have such an extraordinary thing happen to me. Of course, I was very curious as to see how much of our myths would line up with reality, and I was even more overjoyed when you visited me at the library. When you accepted my invitation and came into my home, I was just glad to have you there. You seemed like you wanted to be there and weren't just someone who was out to use me in some way. I began to feel hope. When I met you in the park, I think the only reason I could tell you everything about myself is because I knew you were going to leave me again eventually. Aww. Remy needs hugs. Remy needs a lot of hugs. He really does. Second. One second. And now after all this, I can hardly believe you're still here with me. Why wouldn't I be? You're just so nice to me, yet even after the time I've got to spend with you, it seems that soon I'll have to let you go again. At least I got to know you. Can't be all bad. Ever since I came here, I've met plenty of lovely people, all with their own relationships, struggles, and dreams. I know you think you've been alone all this time, but don't go back into that kind of thinking when I'm gone. Why don't you take us an opportunity now that we're here? Who's to say that you won't really be able to find others once I'm gone? I know you're still stuck for a while because of your job, but after that, have you considered a change of scenery? You could move to a different place with all new people and opportunities. Who knows what you might find elsewhere? New start? I like that idea. But enough about me. What will you do once you go back to your own world again? I'm not sure. I don't even know what will happen to me when I return. The last few days, a lot of things have happened that have changed my perspective on what I'm doing here, Reza and those who sent me. Is that a bad thing? I don't know yet. At the very least, though, I can say that I've done and what I believed was right. You should be careful with rhetoric like that. What do you mean? That kind of talk makes it very easy to justify any means when it serves the right cause, whatever that might be. The more important thing is, have you done anything that you might regret? Ooh. I like that phrase, like the way he worded it. Like, that's something you don't hear a lot of people say, but it is true. What you think, keep in mind that you may be held accountable for your actions by others, or even yourself. Don't just do something because you think it's for the right reasons. Do it when you are aware of the possible consequences as well. You're right, I have no way of knowing what my actions here will amount to once I return. Do you really wish to go back to your own world? If I didn't, it would only serve to strain the relationship we've been trying to build with your people, which is something that could be very elementary for our survival. Besides, I don't think I didn't do it for those who reign over the city back home, or those who might have wanted to betray me. Let's not forget that even under the worst regimes, there are just normal people trying to survive too. If I had the power to make a difference for them, would it be right for me to just leave them in order to seek my own happiness? The kind of thing you were talking about, right? In the end, we all make our own decisions. If we leave them, then I leave them to the people like Reza and those who sent me here. What would you want to do? Overthrow them? I don't even have a complete picture myself right now. How could I even consider what to do, given what I know? What I do know is that if I don't do what they expect of me, there will be consequences. Maybe I'll just have to wait and see. Option right now, Reza's still out there, armed and dangerous. Don't you think that it's a matter best left to our police force? It could be very dangerous for you to interfere. It's too late to reconsider. I've already tangled up in this too much. Besides, I can't stop now. Don't forget how many he has killed already. He won't hesitate to do so again in order to reach his goal. It's my duty to stop him. I don't know how would your people look at humanity. How could I face you again knowing that my negligence could cause suffering and loss for others? Others here if I just stop now. Wish I could be as brave as you. Don't think bravery has anything to do with it. He must be stopped one way or another. I know, just be careful, right? I'll try. Been out here for a while. How about I walk you back to your apartment? What about the festival? Well, if you still want to go, we could watch the big fireworks together in a few days. That's an idea. Alright, let's do that. Remy got up again, stretching himself in a way that reminded me of a cat before we prepared to leave again. Oh, you're still here? How's business? As expected, people always get hungry at these events eventually. Can I have you some more meatballs? No, thanks. I'm quite full from my earlier helping. How about you, Dove? Tempting offer, but we were just about to call it a day. I see. Are you going to watch the big fireworks at the end of the festival? That's the plan. Try not to miss it. You haven't seen anything until you see the fireworks. That's what everyone keeps telling me. Because it's true. Anyway, we should probably get going. Have a good day then. You too. And here we are again. Indeed. Did you want to clean out my bathroom cabinet as well or something? That's a good one. You get a big sigh. You know how I feel. I guess I just wanted to make the most of this day. Speaking of which, I've never actually seen you without your tie. Well, actually... How about now? You're pretty cute, you know that? Is that just a term of endearment, or are you actually serious? I'm serious. It was until he took a step forward, his head moving slowly closer to my own. Aww. Yeah, this is, like, yeah, obviously we're gonna kiss him, but of the male, love interests, I honestly feel like, Remy's the one that you have the most organic thing with. We met and my arm enveloped his neck as our lips touched. For a few seconds we were closer than ever before. During the kiss he used a lot more tongue than I expected. After we parted, he finished by giving me a small lick on the cheek. Aww. How is that? Unique, that's for sure. Maybe I shouldn't wear the tie anymore if that's what happened when I take it off. Actually, I think you should keep it. Really? Yeah, it looks good on you. Well, if you say so. Anyway, it's getting really late, so I should probably get going now. Don't forget about the fireworks. Oh, for sure. I'll see you then. Until we meet again, thank you for everything. I really like Remy. Remy's a fun character. Okay, let's get some... let's rest, because I want to save as much of a Dean's as possible for... for the actual routes of the characters. Okay, I believe now Dean is gone. So, this is kind of chilling when you look at it. Because three of the characters that have been there since the beginning are gone, and that has just a sense of dread about it. Okay, Remy, we're going to the fireworks. Pretty sure this is... I think this is probably going to be his bad end. That must be him. Are you ready to see the fireworks? My body is ready. Alright, let's go. Remy's such a sweet guy. Like, he's just a very sweet character. After a few minutes of walking, we arrived at a rather empty-looking area near the edge of town. Looks deserted to me. I thought everyone was watching the fireworks. They are, but they're doing it somewhere else. I don't like the crowds, and I think you would appreciate me leading you here if you knew what they were like. Better safe than sorry, at any rate. That's what I'm thinking. This reminds me a bit of the night I arrived here. Everything was dark and empty, and it was just us walking through the landscape. Yeah, you're right. Oh, I think it's starting now. Watch. We were quiet as we waited, and the stillness of night enveloped us. Soon I heard the sound of the first rocket making its way into the night sky, after which it exploded in a pattern of colors. More rockets followed, their thunderous noise echoing through the land. Suddenly a terrible realization hit me. Public event this was, and how I've been told multiple times that everyone would be watching the fireworks. Now would be the best time for Reza to do everything he planned to do. Not only was the village basically deserted, but the sound of fireworks would also overshadow any gunshots, giving him as much security as he would ever have. His portal had been repaired by the mysterious person I met. Now was the perfect time for Reza to make his getaway. and I was the only one who knew it. Remy, I think we need to go now. What's wrong, Dove? I know where Reza is. We need to stop him. Shouldn't we call the police or something? We don't have the time. Not sure if I could fight him. You're right. If you're there, he probably won't hesitate to shoot. Maybe you can hold him off and I'll try to get some help. Alright, let's go. Let's do that. Go. 1 second. As Remy's voice called out to me. Where should I go? The portal, he'll be there. One second. I arrived at the portal just a few months later. I couldn't help but be glad it was still turned off and didn't appear to have been used recently. Meant Reza was still here somewhere. I'm thinking about where he could be or if it was worth waiting for him here. I saw something out of the corner of my eye. Hesitating, I drew nearer. Yeah, poor Sebastian. I checked Sebastian's for any sign of life and found nothing. His body was still warm. He was here very recently, but he hadn't used the portal yet. Why? My post was not just for the portal itself, but also the surrounding area. Since Reza was already here, he probably had unfinished business very close by. The underground building the administrator had told me about, all the prowess of the generators within, probably hadn't been hard for Reza to guess the same, or to try stealing them. A place he knew would be more deserted than the rest of the village right now. He also didn't have to go far from the portal. All things considered, it was the only option that made sense to me. I could have waited for Reza here, but in the end I decided it would be better to meet him underground. If there was going to be a confrontation, I was sure I would have the advantage in a more crowded place. In the darkness, it was easy for me to spot the site where they had unearthed the building's entry, as it was roped off area I had seen from afar before. When I entered the building, I was met by a long illuminated hallway that was lined with the doors on both sides. Since the lights were already on, Reza had to be very close. I wasn't surprised at the building still having electricity, since its generators were also powering the portal. Suddenly, one of the doors opened, and out came Reza. Reza carrying a cardboard box. When he spotted me, he sat on the ground. Okay. Here. Okay, that's the same as before. You know, answer a few questions. Okay, I don't want to miss anything. Introduction, Sherlock. Okay, so this timeline, he definitely did so. So it's only in Bryce's time. It's only in Bryce's timeline, and maybe even just in his good end timeline, that the administrator killed him. I don't know if it's in his bad end timeline too or not. Okay. Okay, this is the same as always. Yeah, that's one that that's a line that really kind of strikes home how Reza sees this. You'd rather starve because you suddenly empathize with a steak. Like, that kind of highlights just how messed up this is. Yeah, because he doesn't even see them as human. Like, that kind of highlights just how terrible Reza is. Also, this is actually particularly poignant given what Remy said before about the dangers of I'm doing the right thing. And how that can be used as a justification for very, very bad things. Okay. Yeah, I know this can occasionally change. But and I also like that expression of how he just snapped. Like, that is the look of someone who just snapped. One second, actually. Let me look through his expressions here. No, that's not what I wanted to do. Okay. Okay. Maybe I can. Oh, actually, that is different right there. Listening to you was all fun and all, but now the grown-up's supposed to get to work now. I mean, what are you gonna do? You can't stop me anyway. Maybe I can. Suddenly Maverick and Remy appeared next to me. You planned this, didn't you, Dove? Traitor. And to think I let you distract me was such a cheap trick. Because I thought there was still a shred of humanity within you. He pulled out his gun, not sure which of us he should be aiming at. Just let me go and I'll forget this ever happened. That's 6 bullets for 3 people. Do you think you can really do that, Reza? Do you think this is worth risking your life for? I'm risking my life for this every day for the past 2 weeks. What did you do during that time? Sip champagne in your apartment? Besides this generator, the whole building came from our time. They belong to humanity. Missouri came out of the shadows in the hallway behind Reza. No, they belong to me. As it spun around, aim his gun at the newcomer who was slowly walking towards him. Who the beep are you? Freeze! I said freeze! Want to waste your bullets on me? Feel free. You can't stop all of us. I say so. The man was held the ground with a dull thud that knocked her mask off. Okay, yeah, we saw this. Mortified by the display of the performance, I found myself unable to move with the event. Flying seconds unfold before my eye. Reza was quick with his gun and shot only once before Maverick could charge. Maverick pounced, snarling, and knocked Reza to the ground before embedding his teeth into the body before him. So that's 2 bullets. Okay, so that's... I'm trying to keep track here. So that's 1 bullet for... So that's 1 bullet in the Administrator, 1 in Remy, and then 2 in Maverick. So that's 4 out of the 6 bullets. The jaws dislodged and Reza pulled from his feet a few feet away while Maverick's body rolled from his arms. His bleeding wound leaning heavily, Reza looked at me. You're not going to help me, are you? It's futile. He used his gun, aiming at me while I regained my composure and tried to run. The shot was down through the hallway, and as soon as I heard it, a sharp pain shot through my back. I fell to the ground immediately. I noticed that no more bullets came. Oh, I must have miscounted then. After a few seconds, I slowly turned around. He was leaning against the wall, his head slumped forward lifelessly. They shot Maverick twice, point blank in the head. As they both lying in a pool of their own blood, were not moving. Crawled over to Remy and was glad to hear him breathing. He had been hit in the side. I saw blood trickling from the wound on the ground below him. He raised his head, looking at me with an expression of pain. You're wounded. So are you. We need to stop the bleeding. He was on the wound, momentarily holding the blood that was trickling down his body. Can you do this? Let me try. He felt around his side, trying to find the right grip before he applied pressure to his own. I let go, and after a bit of adjustment, Remy could stop the bleeding on his own now. Oh, poor Remy. I don't like Remy getting hurt. I don't like any of the dragons getting hurt. I don't like any of them getting hurt because the dragon... I like all the dragons. Sheridan briefly considered whether I would be able to use it to dress from his room, but soon I realized it was not long enough to wrap around him properly. If he could walk, if he couldn't walk now, it wouldn't make a difference anyway. And he would have to stay here while he held his wound shut. Then I used the shirt to curb my own bleeding, folding it and wrapping around my abdomen tightly. Look, Reza's gone, and that other person. It was like both Reza and the Administrator were gone. I had to go and go stop her and stop Reza. I need to find you some help first. I can't just leave you like this. Don't you dare tell me that you would be doing me favors by saving me. If it's just going to be one of us, I don't want it to be me. You don't know how it is to live every day as I have, always wondering if the pain will ever stop or if things will ever change again. When they finally do, you come along and tell me this, don't do that to me. I'm not going through this again. What do you want me to do? Bigger than us, bigger than me. Just go. Go and stop Reza. Alright. I hobbled hobbled to my feet and made my way back outside just in time to see Reza vanish through the portal. Made my way back to Remy to look for something to treat his wound. Given everything that transpired, I had no idea what was going to happen. The Administrator had gone. I checked a few of the rooms and even found a first aid kit and used it to treat both of us. I heard steps behind me. As I turned, I was spotting another human face. It was a soldier. Who are you? What are you doing here? We're here to save you. Reza told us about everything. I didn't know what Reza told him, but I certainly didn't want to leave just yet. I tried to protest and told him the soldier let me know that they would take care of it. For now, however, their orders were clear and I was to come with them immediately. And took the generator with him. Then they escorted me back through the portal. As I wondered what would happen now to our world and the dragons. I arrived on the other side only to meet a team of EMTs who were already expecting me. I was urged to lay down on a cot, which was transported to the back of the ambulance. I get the feeling that Reza didn't actually tell them to come save us. Like, I get the feeling, given how badly wounded he was and barely alive, it was probably like half hysterical mutterings. Wounds, as I heard them calling out medical terms I didn't understand. And soon I lost consciousness. I wasn't sure exactly what Reza told him. Him dead and me wounded, humanity decided to take what they thought was theirs by force, which included the underground building itself. The romantic solution, the dragons retreated and borders were established, all within a matter of days. The people living in our city quickly relocated. For them, it was a better solution than any other. Here they had already working infrastructure, buildings, and things looked like they used to. Woke from my induced coma, I was with the expected dose of confusion as I realized the place was deserted, and it hadn't just been the building, it was the entire city. Everyone was gone. Nor as I had told humanity enough for them to ultimately decide to leave me behind as a traitor while they sought out their promised land. To their credit, they could have killed me, but just leaving me behind and to my own devices was exactly the kind of punishment I would expect from them. I'm unsure how much time had passed since I returned. While they had permanently disabled the portal, I was at least able to find plenty of supplies they had left behind as I roamed the city to make a new life for myself. Checking building after building, getting to know my new surroundings, I was surprised to see a shadow flying overhead. It was a dragon. Hey, blinded by the sun, I couldn't quite make out the dragon before it landed and approached. It was Remy. Remy, what are you doing here? For the past few days, honestly, I wasn't sure whether I was going to find you at all. I don't even know how long it's been since I saw you. Must have been a few weeks. Why did you come here? 1 second. Why did you come here? We need you. You have to tell them what really happened, what Reza did and everything else. Now the soldiers found me and I was interrogated. When they were negotiating with the council, they realized Reza's account of what happened here differed a lot from what really went down. Of course, there are a lot of blanks they need you to fill in. They needed to find someone who was willing to go back to you, find you, so I did. Besides, I owed it to you for everything you've done for me, Remy. I guess they realized the error they made by leaving you behind, but now all of us need a witness. You must tell them the truth. What about your wound? It's fine. I was patched up pretty well, all things considered. Come on, we've got nothing to lose. Portal's just around the corner, but how do we get back? They deactivated it. I know, that's why they gave me something to repair it. Let's go then. A few minutes later, we arrived at the portal. I thought about the alternative options, considering we would be able to use it now. Well, it came to mind, and while I knew the portal's capabilities to do so, I had no idea how. Either way, I would do what I could to make things right. As Remy reactivated the portal using the interface with a somewhat clumsy pause. Something's not right here. I can't find the other portal. A realization hit me as I considered hope for other possibilities. A few weeks since I last saw you, right? And you've been looking for me how long? About a week? Yes. Remy, I think I've got some very bad news. What is it? I heard someone approaching us from behind, and after I turned around, it was the administrator who stood before us. I have finally found you. Come on, we need to go back. Back, they're all gone. What are you talking about? From the time you were here, the meteorite you knew about collided with Earth. The population you knew and the human settlement are no more. What? How? Reza knew this was going to happen. How ironic Reza would drag himself through the portal in his gravely injured state to try and save humanity by telling them about the generator, you, and the meteorite, only to fall on deaf ears about that last crucial part. Now they're all gone. I wasn't talking about returning to them, however, but going back to a time even before that, the day of your arrival. You want to use the portal for time travel? I knew about the possibilities of doing it for real. Fascinating. Can Remy come with us? No, it's complicated enough as it is. And I don't want to go. I don't think you realize what is at stake here. All the others you have met are dead. Their whole civilization was wiped out in one foul swoop, and their world lies in ashes. Only we can go back and try and prevent this from ever happening, but... It's alright, Dove. Just go. You have to save them. That is my utmost goal. Alright, I'll do it. Well, take your position, please. I stood in the middle of the portal. After pressing a few buttons, the administrator joined me. What shall I call you? She looked at me with a mild expression of bewilderment. Now you don't wear the mask anymore, we can do without the code name. You can call me Izumi. I could see the faintest hint of a smirk. Not that it matters, Months. Once we arrive on the other side, you probably won't remember a thing. As I heard the familiar sound of the portal starting up, the last thing I saw was Remy watching as he slowly undid his tie and slipped it off his neck. Well, that was depressing. Yep, bad end. Yeah, honestly, I think that's probably one of the worst endings. Like, because the dragons are extinct, except for Remy's the last dragon. Humanity is either extinct or on the verge of it. And it's just you, the administrator, and Remy stuck in a bad future until you go back in time. Fortunately, from what I gather, this game runs on the idea that unless the past is altered, nothing changes it. Like, unless... I got time bad. It's a stable time loop, but if the past is altered, the timeline diverges. Oh crap, does that mean that if the timeline diverges, only if the past is altered, does that mean that timeline still exists and Remy's just stranded in a bad future? That makes it sadder. I never thought of that, but that genuinely makes that sadder. Oh, crud. Oh, crud. That is depressing. I'm laughing, but that is seriously depressing. Yep, bad end. Okay, that ending is even more depressing than I thought it was, if that is true. Oh, good grief. Well, the future refused to change, to quote Chrono Trigger. So, bad end. And you can see Remy's shadow over there, which means Remy is... Oh, we got Remy's bad end. I keep saying bad end instead of bad ending just because I'm used to using that terminology. I can't even remember where that terminology comes from. But return to the past now. In your journey, Dove. But yeah, that is really the most depressing. That was really depressing. Also, I wonder now if I've done like 3 of these, if it will finally let me do this normally. Okay, yeah, it does. Oh no, I didn't actually want to do that. Oh well. Okay, so this time we're going to go with Remy and... I mean, not Remy, Anna and Lorem. Anna and Lorem. So let's start with Lorem. Now these two, if I remember, are not both romantic pairings at their 4th one. So I think one of them is... Have we met Lorem before? I think... Okay, no we have not, because this is not skipping. I don't think... Okay, we never actually did Lorem's first meeting, I don't think. Went to the bar where Lorem had suggested our meeting place. When I looked around, I saw Bryce sitting at a table, talking to someone I couldn't see for a second, but soon started Lorem out the corner of my eye. There you are. Hey, Lorem. It's good to see you. I thought you might not show up. Am I late? Well, I'm here now. I almost didn't. Not at all. I got here early. I'm surprised you wanted to meet me here. Don't take this the wrong way, but are you even old enough to drink? What are you talking about? Oh, I see. I can assure you I'm a fully grown adult. My species doesn't get much bigger than this. Speaking of which, are you fully grown yet? How do humans usually get... how big do humans normally usually get? And how do you stack up, comparatively speaking? Oh, and would you mind if I took some notes? Before we get to that, you haven't even told me exactly what this is for. Are you sure you're not a reporter? If I was, Sebastian wouldn't have let me meet you in the first place. And I thought the uniform was just a clever disguise. It's real, though. Sebastian knows I work for the local post office. Excuse me, but this doesn't really tell me anything about why I'm here. You're a postman who wants to interview me for what exactly? Sorry, I guess I got ahead of myself here. Maybe a full introduction is in order, and after that you can decide whether you want to go through with this or not. Sounds good to me. Sure, go ahead. I already... Why do they... I know the options to be mean are just to be the best, to get the evil ending, but... like, I know the option to be mean is just there for the evil ending. So let's go with sounds good to me. I recently graduated college with a degree in computing and moved in here with a good friend of mine. This town doesn't exactly offer the best opportunities to put my degree to good use, though. And why move here in the first place? Living in the city can be very expensive. I can always move later when I get a job there. I've got other places right now, though. Got other plans right now, though. I'm working on a video game. That's what all this is about, a video game? Oh, you said this was going to be something about something serious. The game sounds interesting. Our character's a dork, and we've already established in a previous timeline. Our character likes video games, so... Exactly! Video games and computers are just starting to catch on in places like this town. Making good content will be very important to give us a good first impression. And humans have always been part of our media, books, movies, and now games. With you on our side, this could be an amazing opportunity. Well... Oh, maybe this wasn't such a good idea after all. Why? You're right about I can't help but feel a little deceived. Yeah, let's go with why. I don't know, you just don't seem so thrilled about doing this anymore. Besides, your job must be really stressful, and you're probably already in the spotlight all the time, and now to top it all off, you get some postman harassing you for an interview. You want to leave, I get that. I'm staying, of course. Well, I'm already here and I have nothing else to do, so let's make the most of this. Yes, thank you. At least I won't have to be so careful now. With a reporter, I have to worry about things being misinterpreted or taken out of context. You should still be careful. Well, you can tell me now. What you tell me now will and how your entire species will be represented in my game. Don't worry, though. I'll treat this as a delicate matter with the required finesse. Head of other cells. We haven't even started yet. I'm sure of it. Okay. Let's go with I'm sure. Let's just go with okay in this timeline. How should we do this? Let me think. What do you want to make? Why do you want to make this game in the first place? I've always wanted to make a video game. I've had this idea for a while, and it seems now is the right time to do it. It's almost as if you arrived at the perfect moment. I don't know. Don't you think my visit will overshadow your efforts? People might not be playing a game about humans anymore if they had a real one show up. Good point, but the vast majority won't get to meet you personally anyway. If I say I did and modeled the humans in the game after you, people will flock to get a similar experience. Does that mean I'm going to be your game's mascot? So now I'm part of your viral marketing campaign. Great. As long as it's based on the truth, you have my support. Let's go with the first one. It's the dorkish one. I guess you could say so. I like our character being a dork. One second. Okay, but why focus on humans? What makes us so important? If there's one thing that people here love, it's humans. It doesn't matter if they just see them in the media, or believe in them as mythical creatures. Humans are always real. I didn't know whether I'd ever get a chance to meet one myself. I guess I can cross that one off my bucket list. Now that we are here, I can tell you that no expense will be spared to make our portrayal of humans as accurate as possible. I like Low-Rem. Low-Rem is cute. And they are very energetic and enthusiastic, and I love that. You certainly seem passionate about this. Those are some messed up priorities. I'm with you on this. Let's go with passionate about this, because that is an admirable trait to me. For good reason. I just love humans. You say it like that, it actually ends up sounding pretty weird. Besides love, I turn out to be a horrible person. What do you think about humans then? Oh, so you mean like Reza. It wouldn't change anything, as I wouldn't base my opinion of an entire species on the action of a single individual. Then what is your current opinion of us based on? Just the myths we have and the previous portrayals of humans in media. But I suppose that's why I'm here talking to you right now. I want the truth in all of it. Telling you all of it might not be such a good idea. Oh yeah, I guess that would take a lot more time than we have today. Anyway, what's the actual game about? What do you do? It's a community simulation game. It all starts with the player character moving into a procedurally generated community, which is inhabited by all kinds of mythical creatures, humans included. Creatures like humans. Not only are the towns you move into unique, but the inhabitants are too. There are a variety of traits that get randomized, both in looks and personality. There are many things you can do, and it's very open-ended, and you can live your life there however you want. Sounds boring, that sounds interesting, that sounds like my kind of game. Honestly, it does. Honestly, that same game does sound really fun. Like, yeah, that is actually a game I would like to play. Oh, really? I couldn't ask for a better compliment than that. What other mythical creatures are there besides humans? I haven't worked that out yet, but humans alone give us a lot of material to work with. How so? The question of the mythical human can be tackled in a variety of ways, being different interpretations of what humans are like. For example, in general, the mythical human can be divided into 3 categories. Firstly, the human as a physical creature, secondly, the human as a non-physical entity, and thirdly, the human as a spiritual being. This is so fun. This is amusing to me. This is, like, very amusing to me, just to see a mythical creature talk about humans as mythical creatures. For some reason, that is incredibly amusing to me. Let's start with the physical aspects. Sure, since one of our myths tell us that the human who created us eventually turned into a dragon, there is a lot of room for interpretation as to how similar humans actually are to dragons. I can see you don't have wings, but most of us are able to create fire in some way, or at least have a breath weapon. How about you? I don't have a breath weapon unless you count my morning breath. I can rub 2 sticks together to make fire. Does that count? Of course, I can also move things with my mind. Let's go with this one. Not really. Having hands that are dexterous enough to do that is remarkable, though. It's a bit strange, though. Our myths also say you gave that ability to us. Interesting. Maybe it's meant to be taken literally, meaning that when the ability was given to us, you lost it. Or maybe we never had it in the first place. Humans are known to have created a lot of things out of nothing. After all, we only need to discover how to create and use fire because we didn't have the natural ability to do so. I have a proverb that sums it up pretty well. What is it? Necessity is the mother of invention. Natural abilities drove innovation forward. What an interesting thought. Here's another thing. You may have many different images of humans, but in the end, only one can be right. It's also possible that what you've been led to believe about humans doesn't actually refer to us at all. Implying that you aren't human? No, I'm just saying that if you really had been in contact with humans before, as your myths imply, they would need to belong to the same species as me, and thus be very similar to myself. If they aren't, then either they weren't humans at all or have very different origins. So you say there's a possibility that our humans and your humans may be something different altogether? I suppose you are right in the way that our images of humans are very inconsistent. They surely can't all be humans in the way that we would refer to a single species. The name should probably be reserved for yours. Now, I haven't even touched on the other 2 categories of human. What did you call them? Non-physical human entities and spiritual humans. What's the difference? Honestly, the definitions get a bit muddled here, going by the conventional belief a ghost could be a human who has died and thus changed in a different form. Call this a spiritual human. An angel, on the other hand, would be classified as a non-physical entity. What do you know about angels? Angels basically look like humans with wings. Their existence in ancient scripts was used to lend some credence to the theory about humans having become dragons. Because of the wings? Exactly. but some of your dragon species don't have wings either. Yes, as I said, once you start delving into this kind of stuff, it all becomes very convoluted. We met, you also told me something about a four-headed human. Right, with that when we go into the realm of creatures that just don't make much sense at all. Having four heads just seems unlikely from an evolutionary perspective. That might not really matter if you're talking about a non-physical entity or spiritual being, though. So then you have a lot of different ideas whose only connection to each other is that you use the word human to describe them in some way. And they share at least the same basic characteristics. You fit those as well, by the way. So kind of like how we humans perceive dragons in mythology. I do like this. This is actually a really fun little discussion and I do like this. This is one reason I like Lorem. Oh, excuse me. Like, I just like Lorem. Lorem is very adorable. And just this conversation. And they at least, and they share at least the same... Okay, I already read that. What are they? Certainly you're not a reptile like us, and you don't look like a conventional mammal either. We are mammals, though. Yes, but you are so different from the other mammals we know that ultimately you are quite unique. We don't know of any other sapient mammals. Got a point there, I'll give you that. Strangely enough, we have plenty of human-like creatures in our mythologies as well. Oh, do tell. I already mentioned ghosts, but some others include dwarves, giants, fairies, and blamies, which, that last one I don't really remember. So fun fact about dwarves in mythology. They weren't short. Like, the actual mythological dwarves were not short. Like, one of the more accurate portrayals of a dwarf is, like, a mythological, like, Norse dwarf, is the MCU version. You know, where he's a giant. I find that hilarious. But, yeah, that's actually a little bit of a mythological legend for you. I've heard of most of those before, but what are blemmies? Literally, a blemmie is a human without a head. Without a head, how does that even work? How do they eat? Their head, they just have all their facial features on their chest. That is a rather weird mental image. There are also half creatures that share some characteristics with humans and other animals. Like merhumans? Sure. Lastly, there are creatures that are said to be able to shapeshift into human form. Now, some of our dragon myths said they could shapeshift into humans, or that certain countries' royalty are descended from dragons. That would imply that they are genetically compatible with humans. I guess, apparently, sounds gross. Let's go with apparently. That's a little outlandish if you ask me. We certainly can't shapeshift like that. So that's why they're just myth. Are you sure? Let's go with are you sure? To be fair, I never tried. Hang on. Did it work? Nope, you're still a dragon. Aww. Anyway, how do you know so much about our myths? All part of being an ambassador, not only did I learn about dragon myths in order to compare them to what you're like, but I've also studied myths about creatures that are similar to humans so I could find out how similar they are to yours. Well, you're doing an excellent job so far, and it's bound to help me a lot with my game as well. You're going to put all that into the game? Let's just say it gives me an excellent material to work with. I thought you wanted an accurate portrayal of humans, not just collect myths. One species will certainly be modeled after you, but that doesn't mean we can't introduce some variety with the others. People will love it if we also bring in some of the more unusual myths to life. I see. But since we also want each of the normal human characters to be unique, I'd like to know how much variety there really is within your species. I've seen Restless before, so comparing him to you already gives me a bit of an idea of how far do those differences go exactly? When we arrived here, you asked me if I was old enough to drink. That leads me to believe that your average human must be a lot taller. That's true, you could say Restless is about average for an adult. Not that it would be impossible to get a good deal bigger than him or even smaller than you. Those cases are rather rare and usually the result of medical conditions. I see. What about colors? Are there humans who are blue like me? Not really. There is a certain spectrum of skin colors that can be lighter or darker, but so far I've seen a lot more variety in the dragons here. We do have quite a number of different eye colors, though. Interesting. As for things that aren't immediately visible, we also have different blood types, but I assume you already know about that. We certainly have those as well. Some people even believe your blood type influences your personality. That, on the other hand, is news to me. Anything else you want to know? Phew, we've already got so much, I'll have to think about if and how we can work all this back into the game. Have you worked on any other games before? I worked on a few small projects during the course of my studies and also entered a studio before. This is a completely different level, though. How so? It's my game, so I'm the one calling the shots here. It's a very different thing than just making a few graphics and then when you're part of a bigger team, for sure. I see. How exactly have you been working on this? Phew, must be several months now. I've got everything planned out and a lot of the groundwork has already been done. Most difficult parts of the characters themselves and to make sure all the details are accurate, of course. Have you shown the game to other people yet? Sure, feedback is a very important part of the development process, so I regularly gather ideas and opinions from others. I even made a website to do this. And what do they say? All kinds of things, really. Sometimes it's hard to decide which ones have a good point and which one can be disregarded. Overall, it seems there are many people looking forward to play my game, though. How many are we talking about? I don't know exactly. The count on my website only tracks the number of visits, so I don't know how many different people there are. Well, if it doesn't work out? What do you mean? There is a certain amount of time and money into making this game. Ideally, you want to make an investment and hopefully get some profit on top of that. To make money, sure. I just wanted to try my hand in doing something like this. If some people are going to enjoy the end result, that's great. Don't forget that I'll also have made something that I can put on my resume. At the very least, it'll have been a good learning experience. Dude, I suppose you really don't have anything to lose. Always look for another job and maybe I'll end up working in a game studio, but I think once I've started something like that, I might not get this opportunity again. So it's now or never, right, huh? In a nutshell, yes. And that all works out with your courier job. I can support myself this way, and I'm not really under any pressure since I don't really have any deadlines to keep. Seems like you know what you're doing, though. Deadlines are a good way to ensure things get done, though. I personally don't really like deadlines, and let's be honest, the deadlines that are imposed on video game makers tend to make things worse. I like to think so. What kind of tools are you using to make it? If I consider what some of your species look like, I'm having a hard time imagining how bigger ones could program a game. While we do have devices tailored to each individual species, I can't deny that my dexterous hands make it a lot easier compared to some of the others. One downside is I have to keep my nails short, or else using keyboard gets a bit cumbersome. I do need to be careful with those while working as a carrier anyway. You're right about that. One wrong move and suddenly you got a shredded letter you were just about to hand to someone. That sounds unpleasant. You should be more careful. Let's go with that sounds unpleasant. Luckily, that kind of thing doesn't really happen to me anymore. Not only because of the shorter nails, but once you've worked for a while, you learn to be more careful. It's a bit sad not to have them as a natural letter opener anymore, though. And it's not just for me. Some people ask me to open letters for them, since doing it on their own can be difficult for some of the less dexterous or older ones. Have you been working as a courier for long? I got this job a few months ago, but I had a part-time summer job at the post office when I was growing up. My species is perfectly suited for the job, so they were glad to have me on board. And see, why is that? Oh, really? Let's go with why is that. Of course, being able to fly is a big plus. My size means I can't deliver any big packages, but I often get assigned urgent letters that have to be delivered as soon as possible. At any rate, maybe we should leave it at that for the day. Yeah, I should probably head back to my apartment before it gets too dark. More than enough material to work with. Thanks a lot. Don't worry about it, I'll just consider it a public service. Honestly, I'm incredibly grateful for the opportunity, especially after getting denied by Sebastian when I met you. Just make the best of it. I certainly will. I have to get going now, so maybe I'll see you some other time. Sure, have a good night. Take care. Okay, so now we're going to... Oh, no. Now we are going to go with Anna. Anna, I still have trouble pronouncing that name. We meet her here, so she's got to be around here somewhere. The production facility had many different wings, covering everything from research to processing. In addition to production, it was easy to get lost if you didn't know where you were going. Yep, here we go. Still no... Remy's still not here, though. That annoys me. You got lost if you didn't know where you were going. There's some commotion in the distance, but when I approached, I was surprised to see not only Anna, but Remy as well. In a heated conversation, I thought it would be inappropriate to approach, so I remained several paces back, in a field of vision, but still close enough to be able to make out their words. Also, there might be a few more bleeping with Anna, because she is a bit foul-mouthed. We have heard the rumors. So you came to me on the basis of rumors? Is that how you operate? What do you want from me? The first time you've been in trouble, you know, they might not be so lenient with you this time. I don't know what you're talking about. Consider this a warning. You should proceed carefully for your own good. If you wanted to threaten me, at least you could have done with sending someone more intimidating. You may be larger than I am, but even I can see that you're just a big coward. You wouldn't dare put your dirty claws on me. Okay, that is actually interesting because Anna is actually really freaking big. Like, it's hard to tell in the game, but we get to see her in Angels with Broken Hearts, and she's as big as Maverick. So it actually surprises me Remy's that big. Because that would imply Remy's actually huge. Which I did not actually think. Like, I genuinely actually thought that Remy was actually a lot smaller than it implies he is. But, yeah, like... Anna's about the size of Maverick, so that actually surprises me. When I'm just here as a currency, not to threaten or intimidate. Do that with that information, whatever you wish. You know we'll be back, and if they find anything, there will be consequences. Do you think I care? Attitude of yours is not helpful. Neither are you. I said what I came here to say. Good luck. Whatever. Turned to leave and started walking in my direction. I ducked behind a pillar. When he went past, he'd seen me either way. He left, and I was safe to approach now. Let's just say, hey, Anna. Hey, Dev. Wait, how long have you been here? I saw everything. Not that it matters much anyway, this is just par for the course for me. I know, Remy, what's the problem? Nerve of that guy, he probably wouldn't be so uptight if it wasn't for that thing with his girlfriend a few years ago. But I don't care about him, it's his superiors that are the problem. They don't, like me and the research I'm doing, they cite their traditions and values and claiming that those things are what kept us alive for so long. And if anything were to change, it would obviously fracture the base this society is built on, cause it to all collapse, tear families apart, allow all beep to break loose. At least if you believe those old-timers who keep repeating these phrases. All that nonsense because of my research. Valuable research that could save lives, mind you. What kind of research are we talking about? I could show you sometime, but we're here to have fun, right? I thought one day you'd show me since you said we were both in biology and all that. Sure, but after doing this all day, you'll have to excuse me for not wanting to talk about it even more. Wasting my time with that guy was just another setback, not that I don't have more than enough work to do. Even now, right now, I'm supposed to be working overtime. You can give me the tour some other time then. How disappointing, I see. I guess you can give me a tour some other time. I will. Oh, and thanks for the blood, by the way. The results aren't in yet, but I'll let you know when they are. I'm just as curious about the results as you are. No, you aren't. I am. I'm way curiouser than you are. Curiouser? Is that even a word? It is, since an author popularized its use where I came from. Then I am way more curiouser than you are. Now, if I'm the curiousest, excuse me for a moment, but I must weep for the English language. That's why I want you to say you're the most curious. I'm not sure I am not a linguist, are you? Not exactly, but I have a way with words. My tongue is quite skilled, or so I hear. Some may even say cunning. In any case, if you have to work overtime today, does that mean I should wait for you, or do you want me to come back some other time? Neither. I think my break should start right about now. My lucky coincidence. I hope no one knows your unscheduled break. I wish I had the ability to make my breaks happen at my convenience. Just one of the perks of being the manager of this facility. So, where are we going? I don't know where you're going, but I think I need a coffee or 5. You can tag along if you like. Be my pleasure. I think I'd rather not. Sure, why not? Let's go with this one. We'll see. It'll be mine as well. I hope you brought your own money, though, because I'm not sharing. I didn't, but everything I purchased for is taken care of by my ambassador status. Nice. Actually, that opens some very interesting possibilities. But I'd rather not do anything too fishy. I don't want to raise any suspicion, you know. Good point. Well, let's get going. Let's go, then. After you, my lady. I just find it amusing that Anna looks like she'd be very small, but she's actually huge. There we are. Finally, I can't wait to get some coffee into my system. Oh, hi, Dean. Oh, hello, Dove. Nice to see you again. Hey. Who's your companion? Can't you just take my order? I apologize. Let me try that again. Welcome to establish. My name is Andai. I'll be your waitress today. What can I bring you to? I'll have a coffee. Thank you. And what can I bring the esteemed gentle person on the other side of the table? I'll also take a coffee, just a soda, bring me a beer. I like coffee. No problem, I'll be right back. What's her problem? I'm here to order something, not chit-chat with the employees. I think she's just trying to be friendly. I know her, she's fine. I know she can be pretty annoying. If you say so. Here you go, enjoy. I like a dean. Like I said, I consider a dean kind of the canon love interest to me. Ah, I totally knew that. So you work at that facility, and your point is, what's your job there? I mean, what do you do exactly? We do all kinds of things. The truth is, we just have all kinds of specialized machinery there, which is used by many different people for many different purposes. Running it is owned and run by the council, who oversee the schedule. It's quite handy since you can go from research to testing and even manufacturing all in the same complex. Researcher in biology, which is still my main job, but I've been there so long and learned the ins and outs of the building so well that eventually I was asked to take over some managerial duties. Sure, it means more work, but it also allows me to run a personal project every once in a while. Does that sate your curiosity? Only seen glimpses, but always sounds like a fascinating place. It does, not at all. Let's go with this one. I'm not sure I'd so far as to call it fascinating, but it surely does give me a lot of opportunities. Oh, and I forgot to ask you, what you actually plan to do with my blood and the rest of the test results? Why is this an interrogation? Just asking a question. Yes, totally, you can call your lawyer if you like. I think someone's in a bad mood. Just asking a question, that's all. Well, it's not the first. Alright, finish my drink quietly if that's what you prefer. Sorry, I'm just stressed out from all the work lately. I'm not getting much respite between my regular work, overtime, personal projects, and other disturbances like that Remy sticking his nose where it doesn't belong. What do you actually do during your free time? Having a good work-life balance is very important, you know. I love my job, I really do. Actually, I love it so much that even my free time, I still do things that have to do with biology. They've said I've got the opportunity to do my own project sometimes, so that's what I focus on when I get the chance. It would be a shame to pass up an opportunity like that without using it. During an influx of work, I rarely leave the facility if I'm not eating or sleeping. Even right now, I'm only on break and have to go back for another shift. Maybe you should do something else for a change. Maybe, but right now that's not really an option. It would help the council weren't constantly sending their lackeys to mess with me. So that wasn't the first time? No, I suppose I'm on their watch list or something. Why is that? It's a long story and not one for the first date. So you're saying this is a date? No, I'm saying that even if this was a date, which would be way more than whatever this is, it would not be very appropriate. Stories about work are not very romantic. It's always work with you. Come on, you're on break. Maybe we should do something to take your mind off all that for once. Like what? I'm not sure. Do you have any other hobbies? Not really. Hey, waitress. How can I help you? Anything here to entertain your guests? Any games or other distractions? I'm not sure. Let me go check. What exactly are you trying to do? I need you to shut up about work already. Just wait and see. I'm being cute and spontaneous. Let's go with that. I'll remember this day. For good or bad, I'm not sure yet. It's more for the kids, but we don't really have anything else. It's fine, thank you. Have fun. A board game? Really? Hey, I know it's not Kenzaki's textile merchant, but I suppose it's better than nothing. Versus Kenizaki. The game, never mind. Well, I'm not convinced this will accomplish anything unless your goal is to make me regret to stay. Seems like it'd be a trivia game. Do you have good general knowledge? Do you even know what kind of advanced knowledge I have to memorize and work with every single day? You bet I have good general knowledge, certainly more than enough to beat a foreigner like you. If you're so confident, maybe we should make a bet. What do you have in mind? Let's say I win, I'll get to go on a real date with you. Not fitting me in during your break, no complaining about everything, no acting as if you did me a favor, especially because it was you who wanted to meet me in the first place. And if I win, I'll have you come in sometime so I can run more tests on you. If that's what you wanted to be, so be it. Alright, I cannot agree to that. Let's go with this. Let's do it then. Since it was your idea, it's only fair that I start, so how does this work? Being pretty simple, we take turns drawing cards and asking questions until we've answered a number that we agree on beforehand. Whoever gets the more right in the end wins. Question shall it be then? How about 5? Let's make it 3. Not sure how long this will take, and my break won't be too long either. Alright, go ahead then. I saw mischief in her eyes, her stare piercing, her with a hint of an arrogant smirk that exposed her anticipation. She would win and loved every second of it. Slowly her hand went to the deck of cards and drew the topmost. Oh, okay, this is cool. I remember this vaguely. Okay, who is cited as one of our most important historians, his work spanning over 20 books, credited with mapping our entire history since the beginning of our sentience? Actually, I think it's this guy. It's not Azumi, because Azumi is the administrator. Damian is her freaking assistant. So I'm gonna go with this one. How would you even know something like that? You have only been here for, like, what, a few days? Yeah, we read the books and we helped Remy organize those books before. How do you even know something like that? You've only been here for a few days? Maybe you shouldn't underestimate me. It was a lucky guess. Not a good start for you, is it? Maybe. Let's see how you fare with your first question. Bring it. How far can you walk into the woods? Only until the middle. After that, and you're walking out of the woods again. You're right, that's a rather rude question, though. I suppose I read the right kind of books growing up. I know most of those trick questions. Let's see what the second question has in store for you. Alright, if there are 5 apples and you take away 3, how many do you still have? You still have 5. No, okay, so... 5 apples and you take away 3. Okay, that's 3. You have 3. Yes, you know your you also know your trick questions. Apparently so. Here's your question. In which year of your own time, of our timeline have we gained sentience? 0. The beginning of our timeline marks the event when we gain sentience. Alright, have you played this game before? The children's games, these questions aren't really a challenge. I'll go ahead and draw the next card so we can end this. An adventurer who values his life has to choose between 3 rooms to cross. Which of the following would be safest? A room filled with poisonous gas, a room filled with 100 highly trained assassins, a room submerged in water filled with alligators that have not been eaten in 8 months. The third one because the alligators would have starved to death. Nope, in fact all the rooms are equally deadly. The alligators can go up with 2 years without food, making room 3 as deadly as the others. The other 2 rooms should not require any explanation. I don't even know what to say to that. I do. I think you're about to lose. Looks like this is going to be the last question. Let's get it over with already. What is the approximate acceleration of a nose-diving flyer? I have to think about that one for a minute. I was just kidding. I still could have calculated that. Alright, here's the real question. What is the only substance known to be lighter in its solid form compared to its liquid state? Water. That seems to be the correct. Of course it is, duh. Just look at that. I won. Someone had to. This turned out to be more fun than I expected. Of course, the main reason for that is because I won, but still. I get it, you won, you're great, etc. That is true. So, when should I come in for the tests? Actually, I'm not sure if I'll get a spot for them in this facility anytime soon, but I'll be sure to let you know. I'm quite sure you will. But you know what? This wasn't so bad after all, so maybe I'll let you have your date. Really? Sure, I mean, you didn't win, but I think you earned it nonetheless. Or maybe I'm just that nice. Okay? It's up to you. Call me if you're interested. I'll let you know. Still going to collect my prize, though. I'm sure you'll make sure of that. You bet I will. In any case, I should get going now. My break is just about to end. Bye! I'm not sure of what I had expected out of the coward, but it certainly wasn't this. After all, proposing a proper date was my way of sticking to her for being rude. Even though I lost the bet, she didn't seem to mind going on a date with me as long as she wanted. Whether I would follow up or on it or not is up to me, though. One second. One second. My records indicate you have already... you know what, I don't want to skip ahead. I want to see if there's anything new. Now that this is actually functioning. Dove. Hey Chief, more bad news. Not quite unless you count Reza missing bad news, but that's why I'm here. Why is that? Good old-fashioned police work. We're counting on your help again. Let's go with this one. Don't worry, we have something else planned. Contain a list of places Reza visited in the days before he vanished. We'll check those out, maybe find a lead, and you might help us understand his motivations and even give us some context for his actions. Okay, let's say nothing this time. She's going up the stairs. Okay, we say she this time. That's interesting. I'm on it. I don't think that was Reza. What makes you say that? Whoever it was wearing a mask. It can't be someone else, so let's not kid ourselves. Wait a minute, when we were down there, didn't you refer to him as she? Did I? I don't know. Maybe you just heard wrong. Maybe. Where did that whole getup, though? Good point. This whole thing doesn't make any sense. Well, now our character knows in retrospect that it was Reza. Now you're gassing the straws, Dove. I think it was Reza. You're starting to sound like Maverick. This whole thing is a huge misunderstanding. Honestly, things aren't looking that great for him right now. It's still our top priority to find him, but after what we've seen today, I'm not sure that will happen. What will happen when we do, I just don't want to give you any false hope, you know. I see. Okay, I'm very glad that this is functioning properly now. Okay. I think I remember something. And we need to go to Tetsu Park for it to... I think... I remember us finding that weird spear thing in the park, in the shrubbery. I know it was here somewhere. We found that weird spear thing around here. I think that's part of getting someone's good end. Yeah, that thing. I don't remember the exacts. Okay. I remember the hatch. Because the Band-Aid's down there. Okay. This character, who I just remembered them. Yeah. Okay, we've pretty much found the big thing here. I know we can get a... Okay, now for some reason the thing isn't the skip thing is not working. Okay, I know we've talked to her before. I just wanted to see if her dialogue changed at all. I do, because we do. What brings you here today? I'm not quite sure of that myself. I just met him the other day. Okay. Oh, Remy, quite the little nerd, isn't he? Have you seen his malformed ear? I want to laugh every single time I see him. That's not very nice. Be that as it may, I just can't help it. Can I ask you a question? You can ask for sure, but whether or not I answer is another question. What would you like to know? We already asked all of this stuff the first time we met her. Okay. Now let's leave. Yeah, I think that weird spear thing is the... Okay. Let's try the... I don't think have we done the grocery store here before? Apparently we have. You know who I am? Okay, this is new. How can I not? Everyone knows about you. Anyway, how can I help you? Okay, there's some more data. Okay, we've already gone through all this. Undo. Okay, I think I get what this is. Appreciate the honesty. Hi, Space Nugget. I don't know what you mean by cringe. Hang on a second. Okay, sorry about that. Okay, we've already done this. There's something alright, of course it'd be anyone's. Okay, we've already seen that. Okay, that's where we're going to end this because we're about 2 hours. We've been about 2 hours. I hope you enjoyed this video. If you did, like, comment, subscribe. See you guys next time. Bye! I still don't have a catchphrase.